Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Yay. Good evening. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for joining us for Two Geek Girls. I'm Crysstal Hubbard.
And Geek Girl Lyssa.
That's right.
And just because Crysstal and I were just talking about the Spider-Man movie, potential spoilers, guys.
Potential spoilers, because of course that's got to have our regularly scheduled MCU / Sony
Yes.
movie discussions. Hello.
Hi, Olive.
Hey.
And
Pardon me if I
Claude.
seem a little distracted. My rabbit has been throwing a fit because I will not let him into the office for obvious reasons, but he's in here with me now.
Does he have a playpen for in your office?
He is now a free range upstairs rabbit. So he's just running around like he owns the place. Yes, he is litter box trained, so that's okay. So he's adorable, but I gotta watch him around the cords and cables. Bugs. Yeah, Buster busted into Bugs' side of the pen and traumatized him. So now Bugs gets to be spoiled a little bit. Get away from those cords. That's exactly what you're not supposed to be by. Thank you. Yeah. So I got all the cords by me, but that's the one thing I might be distracted by because no, we have Shishka Bunny. Yeah, well, Shishka Bunny if I don't pay attention. But there you go. Yeah, so we were talking about Spider-Man, of course, everything that leads into my love for Eddie Brock and everything there. And what's next for the MCU as we get ready for Multiverse of Madness, of course, all the movies that have been delayed till this year for that phase of Marvel. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, obviously, there's stuff even before the movie came out that I expected. Now the embargo, spoilers, is Andrew Garfield is officially allowed to, he doesn't have to lie anymore. Yep. The big lying liar that he was, that we all knew he was, which is totally okay. And then the new Spider-Man movies in the works. And so that's 3 for Tom Holland, Amazing Spider-Man 3, and all of these things. And I'm excited because Spider-Man did not disappoint. No Way Home did not disappoint. It was thoroughly enjoyable. So there you go. That was that. So what did you think, Lyssa?
I very much had a great time. Like we knew they were gonna be there. We knew it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was perfect.
It was.
Like they did it so much justice to bring all 3 of them together and acknowledge in the MCU that yes, these did happen. It was a perfect love letter to Andrew Garfield and
Emma and Gwen, yeah, and her Gwen. Yeah, I mean, I just felt like the performances were so great from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and so heartfelt. But I don't, obviously very talented actors. Bar none. Obviously very talented actors to begin with. It's been a while since we've seen Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield, I mean, has done a whole spectrum of roles and very, very talented. But there's something about this that felt like very natural. And I want to kind of give some credit to probably how easy this was when you've got somebody like Tom Holland. I think that, as we go through this generation, our appreciation for Tom Holland is just going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's incredible. And I think that it would be impossible to be in a scene with him, to be on screen with him and not find like a natural flow to match his.
Yes.
And I think that really, really showed. I think part of the reason this really, really worked with these 3 very different actors, 3 very different dynamics, and everybody else that was in there was because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was wonderful. Obviously, the villains were having a blast.
And see, yes, this Andrew Save MJ was the redemption story the MCU needed.
Your heart just broke for him too.
He's like, I'm not having this happen again.
It just kind of them all reaching the point in their lives where they just accept things that happen. Mm-hmm. Like the acceptance from Toby's Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker of like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I got to be here for some reason. So what's going on?
Yeah. It's like something's happening. There's a reason why I'm here.
Yep. So that
whether or not there's like a cosmic reason for it, or
and you bought it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether there's a cosmic reason or just shit's hitting the fan and we need to be here to help assist with this.
Yep. And it worked, because a huge part of why the story had to work, I felt like, was if those two Peters, they're very acquiescent, like, I've been here, or like not here, but like they're not fighting it. They've been through the ringer. They've reached a totally different point in their life than Tom Holland's Peter Parker has.
Yep.
So allowing them to be there at like this, next
really vulnerable time for him,
moment in his life. Yeah. Like
okay. So also what they did to May, like, she is his Uncle Ben moment.
Yeah. And we got an Uncle Ben moment several movies in.
Mm-hmm.
How much more did that hurt?
Yeah. It's like, no. You actually get to know this character. You get to like fall in love with them.
Yep.
And create this connection with them. Whereas like all the Uncle Ben moments we've really had to this point were there's Uncle Ben.
You're right.
There's no Uncle Ben.
And there's no Uncle Ben. You're right.
With Gwen Stacy, we did have one movie, like what, 1.5 movies with her. But with Aunt May, she, like, what, this is the 4th one she's been in? 5th?
Yeah. It's all blurring together at this point. But
maybe even 6th.
A lot.
At this point, like, if you connect all the time she's been on screen, like, she's had 2-3 hours of screen time between everything. Maybe that's being generous, but she's had at least an hour of full screen time as a character.
Oh yeah.
Plus, like, the relationships, like, even when she's not on screen, like, there's plenty of times where, like, Peter's on the phone with Aunt May.
Yeah, it's a well flushed out, well developed a character, like many others. I mean, she was at Tony's funeral.
Yep.
And that felt right too. Like, it's been years. So that's a huge impact we haven't had on screen yet. As much as I want to give a shout out to the performance of the Sam Raimi Uncle Ben. Fantastic performance. And that's a huge reason why it did affect us. And then we did absolutely buy that moment and then what it did to Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Yep. This is just different.
Yes.
This is different. And they made it work. And this was a very, very difficult movie. Like, so many of the mistakes we've seen in so many movies, and certainly one that they figured out from like the last Spider-Man 3. Mm-hmm. You can't do too much. You can't like throw it all in there, because you never do justice to, you never see the potential. Mm-hmm. But this was a lot. They found a way to do a lot. If you go back and you think about everything that's been done in this movie, all of the hits that this Peter Parker took. Okay, that was a lot to put into. How long was the movie? Just over 2 hours?
Let's see.
Yeah. So
the runtime is 2.5 hours. It's 2 hours and 28 minutes.
So his identity getting exposed, all of those problems, everything that happens with him and his friends, everything that happens with Doctor Strange, everything that happens after the spell with Doctor Strange, with the villains showing up and MIT and and then trying to redeem villain after villain after villain and getting to know more of every villain arc that was included in this. So, and then the other Peters, and then Aunt May, and then him forgetting everything, like everybody forgetting him. That's a lot.
Here's a funny Easter egg kind of thing that was pointed out to me because I was scrolling through TikTok and one of my mutuals happened to have posted about this. So Daredevil, Murdoch, one of his big things is specifically he will only represent people who are in fact innocent. And because of his hearing abilities, based on like people's heartbeats, first off, he can tell who's in the room. And then second off, he can tell if you're lying or not.
Yeah.
So when Happy asked him, hey, do you think you could represent me?
Yeah.
He said no, and never even offered your services because he knew Happy had Stark Tech in his house based on his heartbeat.
Well, like a lot of, and with Happy, I mean, imagine being Tony Stark's guy for that many decades.
Oh yeah, you probably did something along the way.
I guess it's just a part of who he is now. Not that we're gonna blame him. No judgment. Like, cool, okay. But and it's not Murdoch doesn't dislike him. Murdoch doesn't have
he's like,
but I'm not as a lawyer. Nope.
You're like, as a person, I'm not going to say I dislike you by any means.
No. Totally understand, and I don't think Murdoch would even want himself as a client.
Oh yeah, no, Murdoch definitely would not want himself as a client.
No, but it's one of those like he catches it, and I'm a really good attorney, and then he looks at Happy like you're gonna need a really good attorney. It's like, oh crap. Happy was definitely going to be in trouble there. So I mean, but again, the end of the movie, everything else that we see. The credit scene definitely going into Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Captain Marvel.
So it's right, five or six movies.
Yep, you were right. Captain Marvel, because we still have the Skrull storylines. We have those are the big ones, and then of course more shows coming out.
See, for this year. This year we get Multiverse of Madness on May 6th. We get Love and Thunder in what's the date? July 8th.
Yeah. So
Black Panda.
Yeah.
I managed to combine Panther and Wakanda. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Is on November 11th.
Yes.
We get Moon Knight. It doesn't actually give us a date yet. It just says 2022.
Yeah, there's something in production for that one, though, if I understand.
She-Hulk also says 2022.
She-Hulk's filming. Yeah.
There's a Miss Marvel series that comes out summer of this year, but we don't have an actual date yet.
Okay. Well, Miss Marvel. Okay, yeah. So that's more like
like an introductory thing for, I'm assuming, Carol Danvers and
the other
Rambo. Again, reintroductory because she knew her as a little kid.
Because as obviously the Avengers Initiative and SHIELD are up in the air, we've got Sword. Yep. So there's that.
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special obviously is going to come out sometime at the end of the year, but they don't have an exact date. It just says late of this year.
Yeah.
The Marvels comes out February 17th of next year. And then we also get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on May 5th next year. And it just keeps going and going. But we're going to be getting, Agatha, House of Harkness, undated.
Yeah. Again, there's all these questions about, at the end of WandaVision, you still have a question of the Chaos Lord. Are we going to bring in Mephisto? We see the book that Agatha had was created by the Lord of Chaos. So there's still questions there. I mean, again, there's still some unwrapped stuff. So Agatha coming, obviously, with her popularity, I think that's a combination of the two. One, it does work on the storyline, and they had to drop a lot at the end of WandaVision.
Yeah.
that would have made a lot more sense. I'm really curious if that's going to come up in Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, if they mention he's the one who did the commercials that Wanda saw while she was there.
We'll find out.
Yeah, because that
might be one of those things that gets dropped as well, though.
But they do have to explain he had to know.
Yeah.
He might not have been able to break into where she was, but they've mentioned in the trailer that he knew.
Mm-hmm. And
that's an awful big thing to happen, and him not to at least try to do something or feel it out a bit. Mm-hmm. He is going through some stuff post blip and everything else. That is true.
He's not currently the Sorcerer Supreme.
He's not the Sorcerer Supreme, and he's a little off. Like he's still making some decisions he shouldn't be making and that stuff, but that's always Stephen Strange. That's not. Yeah. So there's all of that. I'm very, very curious, but obviously the shows have been setting up Young Avengers. We got the setup for Sword. We're getting we still have Chaos. We still have Multiverse. We still have, the next Avengers, the next level. We have the new Captain America. We're getting our new Thor. This is what everything, She-Hulk could absolutely enter anybody's realm.
Yeah.
These are the new Avengers. So we have Young Avengers and we have new Avengers, and everything is about setting up the next key franchises and the next phase. And the next hard phase is going to be, the Avengers of the new Avengers, for sure. And that's a good place for, like the Skrull and everything else to come and play. Because where do you go after crazy multiverse and everything like that? With Eternals, just basically it's laying the foundation for how the magnitude of Celestials and the magnitude of everything else that's out there. Everything's just a foundation for something else, because that's just the way that Feige works. Mm-hmm. It's just all about escalation and where do we go after this.
And another thing is with Tom Holland's last movie as Spider-Man.
You're right.
We know that Daredevil was a member of the Avengers in the comics at some point.
Yeah, as well as at least Dr. Reed gets pulled into Avengers storylines over and over again, and they've laid the foundation for Reed already. Yep. So there's your Fantastic Four. America Chavez is in Doctor Strange 2. So there's another one. Mm-hmm. No, they're there. They're there.
They've been dropping all of these things for us.
Yes.
And if you're paying attention, you'll see it.
It's not.
They're doing a really good job of setting these things up.
Not only yeah.
And with the way they're being set up, I think we'll have. I'm curious to see, like with the Young Avengers, especially since first off, the twins have to come back somehow. Hi, Bugsy.
Literally just a bread loaf on my floor. And yes, he does turn into a lawnmower with my carpet, but I'm pulling it up anyway, so I don't care.
Fair enough. But yeah, like the twins, for example.
Yes. That is.
They have to reintroduce them again. So I'm curious how they're going to do that.
That would be a strong motivator for Wanda to cooperate.
Yeah.
If Doctor Strange says that he could help her with that, or that this might be the only way, that would be a big one for her. We have other Vision running around out there somewhere doing stuff. So yeah, there you go. Good. I'm excited. I mean, Doctor Strange is going to be one of the more stressful movies. Lots of fun, very stressful. That's totally okay. The Love and Thunder, I think, is going to be a little more fun. So
I mean, it's Taika Waititi.
Again, like if we're at, and that bomb from James Gunn that they've absolutely talked about Marvel versus DC, and I'm like, okay, but it's got to be you and it's got to be Taika. It's like,
yeah,
nobody else.
No, like
it's got to be you guys.
If they're gonna do it, which since they're working with Sony, and
DC, I'm telling you, if Marvel ever can, like, what is DC gonna do? Say no? What's Warner Brothers gonna do? Say no? Really? With their track record? Come on. I mean, their last best hope right now is a completely different Flash movie, and they're, you know, and bringing back and kind of harkening back to old, you know, classic for that, and then the new Batman, which I think has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
So those are very, you know, it's very, very different. And Aquaman 2 just wrapped. Just wrapped. Because of course they had Jason Momoa and his soon-to-be ex-wife made the announcement around the
did they
wrapped. Yeah. They are officially split. I know, that one hurt.
Damn.
I know, if they can't make it work, like, F my life. What hope is there for the rest of us? What the hell?
They announced 10 hours ago from CNN. They announced the
Aquaman
split.
2, as soon as Aquaman 2 had wrapped, he was allowed to make the announcement. Yeah. Yep. So, there you go. On that same note, I don't see much from Amber Heard's camp about Aquaman 2. So, I don't even know how big her role is going to be in this one.
It's a very good question there.
Not any of the publicity. She's not in any of the stuff. So there you go.
They might have just they're quietly writing her out.
There you go. Yeah. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I did not. I'd be down with the Squirrel Girl. How about you? I'd be down.
I'd be down.
Squirrel
Girl is just, the concept of her is hilarious to me.
It is.
So, like, I don't even care if it is like the corniest of corny, as long as we just get a fun ride. That's all I want out of Squirrel Girl. Like,
I'm good.
The name of her character, like, you know right off the bat, it's got to be campy as all fucking get out in the best way.
Yeah.
Not corny, but campy. And there's an important distinction there.
Yeah. The difference is Howard the Duck then and Howard the Duck now. Like, there's the difference. So
exactly.
This would be the same thing, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'd be totally down with that.
Yeah.
The idea that Squirrel Girl would be on camera is hilarious to me. In the best way possible.
But in the best way. But I'll tell you, I mean, there's been some great cosplays out there. It's
oh yeah.
It'll work.
You know they can make it work.
Oh, they can make it work. They can make it work.
Now the question is, are they going to try and do it with CGI or practical effects or some awesome combination thereof? I really hope it's some awesome combination thereof, because like the fact that cosplayers are making it actually work proves it can be done.
The tail is just always so complicated. It's just to get the right shape, and it just kind of has a life of its own. It's the one thing, as opposed to paying homage or just doing a photo. But if you're actually trying to walk around on a convention floor with that thing, it's like carrying around a toddler on your butt. It's a little weird. Trust me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Freaking John Barrowman a few years back at Comic-Con dressed up as Squirrel Girl.
Mm-hmm. He did. It's a little bit after he took that picture with the absolutely perfect baby Groot.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cute. It was too crazily cute. Yeah. What else we got coming out? Oh, having
Here we go.
read, I think. Yeah. Yeah, see, it's that damn tail. It's that
It's
tail.
the tail. This is for those who are unaware of what Squirrel Girl looks like.
This is, and so
that one's cute.
Great embodiment. Okay, that's a little more practical. That tail's a little more practical. You know, it's it's huge. Yeah. And then even if you have the little drawing, there's a little drawing there. It's one of the comic book covers. I've got Squirrel Girl, like wallet and purse. She's one of my faves. But yeah, see, so it's a lot of fun. It
can be done. It's just the movement.
Yeah. Damn tail. Yeah, it's always the tail. It's always the tail. It's always the tail. Just ask anyone on Avatar. It's the damn tail. Never fail. Yep. The other one coming out. So for DC as well, I do want to give a shout out. We got Naomi about to come out. So Naomi, the comic book that came out, there is a Black teenager that lives in, we're going to say a small-ish town. And it's one of those classic comic book stories where Superman has to do something crazy in her town, and it sets off this whole chain reaction, including her finding something out about her adoption and the day she was born, and mystery, story. So this is a Superman crossover storyline. It's actually a very good comic. It's a good classic comic book. Good, fun, classic. Great new character, new story, new part of the DC universe storyline. So that's great. There you go. New episode is out. First episode is out. I say give it a shot because I enjoyed it. It's going to be a little bit different. There are some things already different from the comic book, but I feel like it could translate well. This is one that I'm kind of excited for. I think this is going to be a great one.
In other media news that is somewhat related to Warner Brothers, the CW's up for sale.
I saw that.
They've been operating in the red for the past basically since they were created out of WB and UPN.
Yeah, I always felt it just wasn't a business model that really worked. And there is a reason that for Marvel and Disney, a lot of their media just went straight to streaming. Now, the downside of that, we do know for a fact that a lot of people involved in streaming media are underpaid.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about a show that's like your headline show on CBS, ABC, CW, those all kind of have the same vein, trying to hit the same target audience at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. You got to actually pay your crew and actors the full. And whereas when they started doing Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, there was a lot of penny pinching. There was people really didn't get their due for the amount of work they were asked to do. These were very, very grueling hours, long days. So it's a little bit different as several things have changed, including Taft-Hartley when it comes to the union, and a lot of other things have changed in just the last few years. The business model hasn't really been working, regardless of using very recognized characters, very, very recognizable. Obviously, DC predominantly characters. It just hasn't stuck.
Yep. And well, another thing is Supernatural just wrapped. That was the thing, just keeping them on par with basic spending. Supernatural.
Basic spending, when you think about it, a lot of practical effects, a lot less of what we would expect from a Supergirl series. You know what I mean, where she's got the laser vision and everything else, and that's a huge part of in episodes where she had to do that, there wasn't a whole lot of principal photography. For the obvious reasons. Green Arrow was allowed to go on for longer, again, more practical. It's just and nothing really becoming as popular as, say, Smallville had been.
Well, some of the things I've been hearing people talk about is, one, them attempting to bring back Charmed in a reboot that no one asked for.
Right.
And in fact, if anything, people have just been asking for, hey, why don't you show them actually as, mothers, adults?
You can even just do a special.
Yeah.
A mini 6-episode.
I mean, Gilmore Girls had their reunion. Friends had their reunion. Give us a Charmed reunion with the girls. We didn't need a reboot.
Are they all getting along?
They are, actually.
Okay. How about Shannon Doherty?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of them were actually connecting with her when she went through cancer.
Going through her treatment, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people would watch even something like that. And that's obviously something that's been used several times just to kind of feel things out.
Yep.
The thing about Supernatural is one, shooting, a lot of the shows do shoot in Canada, but not all of them.
Yeah.
It is very practical to shoot in Canada, but it depends. So Supernatural, Canada. Could only shoot for part of the year, so the season's really written around that. Again, a lot more practical, smaller budget, lots of stuff done on the same set. You just change the motel room a little bit. Great. And you have 2 actors who are happily not only great at it, but they're happily going around and doing a lot of work with the fans, doing a lot of appearances because, getting people to go to a Supernatural convention is not a problem.
Oh no,
and it ain't gonna be a problem 10 years from now. It's never gonna be a problem. But that really speaks a lot to the writing and the actors, and obviously a very stellar team behind them. That I really would have a hard time equating any other show to. And Supernatural is also 99% original.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
But at its heart, it's a Monster of the Week kind of series. And that's fine. It worked for Buffy, worked for Supernatural, worked for Charmed.
It worked for Charmed. I mean, and Charmed filled a void that we now have.
Yeah. And that's why, all of these series, they might have a BBEG of the season or, across multiple seasons. But the vast majority of the time, even if there is an overarching BBEG in response, that's responsible for all of this, you still have that Monster of the Week formula going on at the same time.
Monster of the Week, Villain of the Week, all of that. It works.
Yeah.
It works. Whether it's 1960s Batman, 1990s Superman, Supernatural, Charmed, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Monster or villain. But yes, they are up for sale. It just really depends on what people really want to acquire.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I think the properties that are getting sold right off the bat are going to be Supernatural, Charmed, Smallville and whatnot. I don't think they technically can really sell because that's under Warner Brothers property too.
Yeah, the contracts were different then.
Yeah,
the deal was different then when that came out, which is part of the reason why Supergirls premiered on CBS.
Yep.
So there were a few other factors in there, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, the mouse is going to own everything eventually. Might as well just accept.
Wait, was the CW the ones doing the Babylon 5 reboot? I thought they were doing the B5 reboot as a movie, or at least to begin with. Let's see.
Yep. Yeah, CW.
Yeah, it is.
You are correct. I don't know. That one did not grab my attention nearly as much because everything's being rebooted. There we
This
go.
is a very good question. I don't know. It might.
Yeah.
It very well might affect the Babylon 5 reboot.
Yes. But I mean, they don't have the money to do it now anyway.
Yeah.
So it's sci-fi, fantasy are notoriously expensive. Look at the videos coming out from The Witcher lately.
Oh, yeah.
Hot damn. Yeah. It's Henry Cavill, by the way, is Alex's new man crush for sure. Not only because he's a huge Warhammer fan, but he has his dog that he takes with him everywhere.
Yep.
And total nerd, and I'm like, didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell? There was somebody else he was totally nerding out, was a big Warhammer guy. Back when Alec had his store. Warhammer people, I swear. We have these toddler titans. I don't know if you've seen them at our house yet. We have the toddler titans for like the big point games that he's got in the garage. I think one's mostly painted. The other one would have to be painted at least a little bit if he was going to play with it. And I'm like, why? Like, you complained about me buying a pair of boots because you don't have room for that. You literally have toddler titans in our garage. 2 of them. Whatever. Whatever. I give up. So yeah.
It's all good. Happens.
Yeah. It's ridiculously expensive. Hence why CBS was always going to take Star Trek to streaming. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a huge part of it. I don't know. It's a lot. I'd be curious. Has there been any hint of anybody who's been interested? Has there been any talk of who's at the table for CW?
Let's see.
I am curious. Oh, while she's looking that up, a little tidbit. Guess who the highest paid actor is now? And it's not Robert Downey Jr. When you think about how much they've been paid for their work and how much it costs per whatever seconds for them to be on screen, it is another Avenger.
Okay, so far, a bidding war for CW took an unexpected turn when TV giant Nexstar placed the highest offer, which, if successful, could clean the network's original programming roster. Okay. So, and then another article I just saw is asking if the CW will be a streaming wars casualty.
Wouldn't be the first, probably won't be the last.
Nope.
And they just, trying to figure out a strong, because Warner Brothers just sent everything over to HBO, which was not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So if nothing like that was going to work out, then yeah. Yes, Warhammer 40K, the world's most expensive miniature games. There is this wonderful meme that goes out. It's basically that classic husband-wife meme, which is total BS, but you get the joke. Husband says, I hope to God that when I die, my wife doesn't sell my Warhammer for what I told her I paid for it. As opposed to what it's really worth.
Especially if they're painted well.
Especially if he's basic painter. He actually sends his stuff out if he's going to get it painted like that. We only have a couple armies that are full on painted. But I'm much more of a builder, understand the paint, understand the resell of it person.
Yeah.
Because somebody's a dick about teaching people how to play. He's just one
no, like I know, like there's actually a meme I had come across a while back. Well, not really a meme so much as like a story someone wrote up on like Reddit or something like that. So this person worked at like a Goodwill, and a younger man passed away unexpectedly, and his mother was donating a a lot of his things.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it was his Warhammer collection. And he was a really good painter. And so the Goodwill employee recognized the actual price of these and called the woman and was like, I will help you sell these. And, they did the right thing.
Yeah.
Because those are really expensive. It's like, no. Like, you just lost your son, and like funerals are expensive.
Yeah, but you think about people generally aren't in a great position after an unexpected death or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I believe it. And she got lucky because having found certain things at Goodwill, I know that stuff just doesn't always get spotted, and usually it's something crazy. It's like, okay, I may have bought it for $3-4 and it's worth like $130.
Yeah.
But no, beautifully painted miniatures and armies like that, thousands.
Yeah.
Totally depending.
And that's just the model cost, not the painting cost.
No. Yeah. I mean, well, it built depending on how big the army is, depending on what pieces you got, depending on anything like that. Yeah.
Those sets easily, like a basic set of like tiny little soldiers, can be minimum $40, and that's like being generous.
Yes, and that's before anything, and people will absolutely pay. So the highest paid, the irony of this, you gotta love it. So the highest paid, for the amount of money he's paid for every second he's been on film, Avenger Marvel actor, which basically means like highest paid actor, because let's face it, they're the ones who are working the most right now, is absolutely Jeremy Renner, who has made approximately $16,000 for every second he's been on film. So
nice.
Yeah. Oh, really? Quantum Leap.
Uh-huh. Well then. Yeah, a good Warhammer collection would probably pay for an appropriate crypt.
Yeah.
And then some.
Having a practical mom as I do, I've been forbidden for paying for certain things. I've had to do more research into like what to ask and what they try to sell you, and what it's kind of like the wedding business, weddings and funerals, the two most expensive things you're ever going to have to do in your life. Except you don't. There is an equivalent of going down to City Hall and saying the vows for that. And it's like, okay, but I don't. It is really tricky because it's like, okay, but I need you to put that in writing because I don't want people to think that I'm an awful daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, they're gonna burn the box. Don't you buy a fucking mahogany casket for them to burn. And I'm like, well, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Just buy the cardboard box one.
I think
unless you are specifically showing the body.
Right. No, she wants to be in the ground in 24 hours. So that's her tradition. That's the family's tradition. 24 hours, unless something crazy happens. But yeah, no. Once it's, there's no reason otherwise. 24 hours, done. That means no embalming, no nothing. Just, and even that is going to be ridiculously expensive, which I don't mind, but still, you get the idea. I was very firm about that. I'm like, you need to put this in writing. I'm not going to go down in history as the worst daughter ever. Like you will put this in writing. Seriously.
Yeah. No. And some people actually, what they do is before they pass away, they go to the mortuary themselves and they pay for the services in advance.
Yes. Yeah. You can get everything reserved. You can get everything laid out. Yeah. No, for sure. You can do that. Yep. But it is. I love it. I'm going to give a shout out to Ask a Mortician, who is amazing on YouTube. I'm going to give her a great shout out.
Here, let me pull up her YouTube and send the link because she is amazing. I love her stuff.
Yeah, mom is Jewish. So yes, John, you are correct. That is why she 24 hours. 24 hours. But yeah, shout out to Ask a Mortician. She's amazing. We'll answer all of your questions. She's fantastic to watch. And it's just that reality of it's the one thing that's absolutely certain in your life.
Yep.
So yeah. But going back to GDW. Yep. It is crazy. It is crazy. The good thing is if you go to like a Warhammer store, you go to the Games Workshop store, and there's several here in Atlanta, here in Georgia anyway, one not that far from us. They have stuff that you can practice on. They'll do everything in there with us in the store with you, and help you get started. So it's not like you have to dive in with some stupid, $400 kit or something.
Oh yeah.
They'll and it's great for kids to just try out and see if they like it before their parents do any major investment. And that's that's a cool thing about it. So Warhammer but I freely admit this about myself. I like building and painting probably more than I like the game, because let's face it, a lot of the times the game descends into chaos. And
that's why I just buy Gunpla.
Yeah, that too.
You can buy a Gunpla kit and build that, Crysstal.
Yes. No, I used to love doing that stuff. I love painting and stuff, and I had my light, and I had like the glasses and everything, because my eyes started to go at like 30, so I had to really work on it at that point. But I liked that part of it a lot more. And I think for most of the games, you need to have just 3 colors, like the basic base of the pieces, and like 3 colors when you're doing that. And I've been up with Alec at 2:00 in the morning finishing his army for the game.
Not even surprised.
Well, that tournament was not that bad. The guys were cool. Like, everyone was laid back. A couple of beers were going. Like, it was chill.
Yeah,
that wasn't a crazy one. But I've been at games like the ones that they plan weeks and weeks in advance, and you're talking like a 20,000 point game or more. And it just it gets a little chaotic. And I'm just gonna go get a beer at the pub.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You guys go do that, because I miss the days of just getting drunk playing Munchkin with my friends. Like, that's all I want to do. What's wrong with that? Yeah.
Okay. Well, once my Opa is able to just be dealt with by one of us at a time, you and I are having a girls' night, and we're getting drunk and playing Munchkin. Down.
What's your favorite expansion pack? Because I've never
played. That's the thing. We were supposed to attend on, and it never happened.
What? Who else has played Munchkin? I need to see in the comment section. Like, play Munchkin. Here's the other one I've got. I also have Exploding Kittens.
Oh, I've wanted to play that one so bad.
With the expansions.
Nice.
So I got those. So these ones are set aside. These were the ones that we were going to start playing after we moved. Haven't done that yet. But yeah, I gotta get my girl out. Actually, I had to get Amber. You met her. I need to get Amber out from Arizona, because she has like the Star Trek expansion, zombie expansion, vampire expansion, Star Wars expansion. So
when we're able to,
yes,
we need to have just a girls' night. Yes. We're gonna get a bunch of our friends that are somewhat local.
Oh yeah,
and we all just go to your house, drink, and play board games and whatnot, and we all just like crash on the couch and everything.
That's it. We'll set the GoPro up. We'll set the GoPro up in the corner. So people can tune in live if they want and watch the madness. But you should totally have it on your Twitch for a little while.
Oh my gosh, yes! I just bring my laptop and like my to-go kit and everything, and we've got the black. We have the blue snowball in the middle, and we're all just like screaming.
Yep, because surprisingly, it's harder if you don't have like your team that you've built it up with. And we're talking back like in my California days when I first did Dungeons, D&D, and I did Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. And then I was able to do some in Arizona. Mm-hmm. But I really started online gaming by the time I was like 19, 20, 21. So it's been a long time since I've been a guest. I've been at I've come to the, and stuff like that. But it's very different from when I had my friend, like when we had Jessica or Maria were the dungeon master, and like and then you had like your same 4 or 5 people around all the time. And the only thing I can equate that with is I can't play Munchkin without expansion pack now. It gets really tricky for me to play D&D, but it's not my crew, and I feel like that's really weird. Is that weird?
Yes and no. But here's the thing for me. Like with D&D, all of my different parties have very different dynamics.
Right.
Yeah. And that's fine. Like on Mondays when I play Bros and Dragons, which by the way, guys, that is also a podcast that you can find on Spotify. So in that one, we've got 3 players and we've got our DM. I am the mom friend. But I'm specifically the wine drunk aunt mom friend of the group.
Okay.
So in Windermere Falls, I am playing the bard in that. Okay. And my character has this epic romance with our cleric, apparently, because I have a propensity for getting my bards into relationships, apparently, even though they're supposed to be the stereotypical bard. But like on Tuesday, for example, I got to have her confess her actual love to our cleric. And so like in game time, this has been like they've been together for like 8 months as a couple. Our cleric had already confessed prior to us like leaving actual Windermere to where we are now that he loved her. And it's been like 6 months since in game time. She finally sent it back this week. Very different vibes between just those 2 games.
No. Very, very, very true. And you will develop, and it doesn't take very long to develop any of this. Like it doesn't, when you think about it, it really doesn't. It's not like you have to play a game for years for something like this. That could literally happen in a roll. But I don't know. So the big question, existential question I've been asking myself is like, did I enjoy playing it because I was with my friends, or did I like playing it because, I like it, which I do. And I get watching other people watch it, and I get listening to other people's story. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't gotten back into it. It's kind of the same reason like with World of Warcraft. I should have played it with like Amber and all of my friends there. Hi, Amber. She'll see this eventually. Because she was the one who kept trying to get me to play with her. But then when I was in it, she was super busy. And then when she was in it, I was super busy. So I had other people that I was playing with. Like it got weird. And I never played it for as long as she did, but you get the idea. But that's the kind of stuff I started doing. All right, so here's a quick rundown. Munchkin is a card game. Basically, the idea is kill everything you meet, backstab your friends, steal their stuff, grab the treasure, and run. That's from the Munchkin website right there. That's Munchkin. That's what you do with the cards. It's crazy. It has a million expansion packs. And I'm telling you right now, you got to have the expansion packs. Like it's just not nearly as fun without it. They were brilliant to do that. But it's like it's things like there's a horny helmet and the boots of butt kicking and the staff of napalm and the chainsaw of bloody dismemberment and the drooling slime, the plutonium dragon, and it's hilarious.
On and it's great.
So much fun. I will tell you where Kelly is. I'm happy to answer this. So we had Matthew that was asking, where's Kelly? That's an excellent person to check in with right now because, of course, she is all things Spider-Man. She is all things Spider-Universe. She is incredibly knowledgeable about many, many, many things, but her heart dearly loves Spider-Man and all of those things. So Kelly, I think she still has her Mayday.
Yeah, McBine Mayday.
Yep. So Kelly, let's see what she's got going on right now. Because all things Spidey. What she goes. Because definitely want to give a shout out. That is definitely somebody to check out right now. For but her last name, if you guys want to see, if you do Kelly McDaniel. And you're looking up, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, Mayday, anything like that, you're going to hit like basically what her schedule is on a regular basis. She has a couple YouTube things that she was doing for a while. She's got some podcasts and some other things that she has her own channel. So she's still doing that, but she's super busy. Just like Lyssa and I can pretty much only get together for a few hours on a Thursday.
Yeah,
Lyssa has a million things going on with all of at Geek Girl Lyssa, and That's yep. And then
there's the Spotify for Make My Mayday.
Make My Mayday.
You can also watch it live.
Yep. Yeah. So she's still there. She's still there. But yeah, excellent resource for everything that's happening right now. She's very, very knowledgeable. Yeah. And right now, as much as I like to do more and more with social media, I'm doing a lot of practical stuff right now. And getting ready for a lot more conventions coming up this year and doing more media for other people.
Mm-hmm.
That way, trying to build up my plaques, trying to get more plaques as another contributor producer. Because yeah, trying to do more of that stuff. So we shall see. Yeah. So that's where she is. Excellent question. Excellent memory. Yes, that is where she is. What she's doing.
Yes, so. It all does depend on the group you're with, Olive.
Yes, it really does.
And there have definitely been groups that I have left because I just was not feeling the dynamic.
I think
it happens. Sometimes you just don't have chemistry with the group, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. People have different play styles.
That's okay, because they found their group, they found their niche, they found their clique, and it just you know, as an excellent example. If it always makes you feel better, remember that Dick Van Dyke got fired from the Carol Burnett show. Just remember that, and it had nothing to do with him personally. It just didn't click.
They didn't vibe.
So that happens. That's probably an excellent example of that. Anything having to do with spot on live comedy, all of that definitely has a correlation with live tabletop play.
Oh yeah, because the vast majority of tabletop play is improv. Like,
yeah.
Now, whether that's and again, there's different types of play. There are people who are RP heavy. There are people who are battle heavy.
Yep.
And if you are someone who prefers RP play, well, that battle heavy group probably is not for you.
Right. Well, and there was an episode of Bob's Burgers that came out recently where a D&D game, like the kids asked if they could play D&D in the burger shop. And they, we'll buy fries, we'll buy burgers, we'll do all this stuff, no problem. And they had a very anxious, really wanted to please everybody master. They had a really, really anxious dungeon master who wanted to try something really, really new. And so she's freaking out, of course, the whole time during the whole game about it. Like, they're going to hate me. They're going to leave. They're not going to like this. And at first they didn't, because it was different, because it wasn't their usual game. They all got turned into something completely different, and they had to work together to fight to get back to their original characters.
Yep.
And but it was I was like cute. I said, yes, that's exactly what happened. That's an excellent example of exactly what can happen. And of course, by the end of it, they all learned the lesson that, oh, hey, it was fun to try something new. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shout out for Bob's Burgers right there. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of media that portrays TTRPGs in some way. I mean, heck, even iZombie. They had D&D campaigns in the show.
Yes. Hawkeye having its live action, the live action role play that they were doing. They were LARPing. Mm-hmm. Wonderfully done, by the way. Thought it was adorable. All of that.
Yeah. I mean, heck, technically, even beyond D&D, they also had LARPing in iZombie too. They brought that up. Yeah. Because the logistics of zombies versus humans being able to do LARP, because zombies, obviously, like, they're not going to die if you stab them, so they might have live weapons.
You could do a whole other level with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Like, let's take it up a bit. Here is a sharp sword. I'm going to run you through the gut. Do you consent to this? Yes. Cool. You won't die if I do this.
Cool. I could really do this.
So, like, that's like the zombies had their LARPing group with live weapons, like sharp swords, and a human had been pretending to be a zombie.
Yep.
And my God, he got killed.
Which, cool. In that, was it How Much Do We Like Stranger Things? Same idea. All of that in there. All of that. Oh, I was going to ask, how do we feel about House of the Dragon? This next of the Game of Thrones community.
Oh, I don't know about House of the Dragon because I have not been a Game of Thrones person. Like, don't get me wrong, I've watched like the first couple seasons, but it's not something that really caught my eye.
Right.
Like, I like fantasy, but some of the stuff in it, like the trigger warning, rape bits,
lots of that.
did not need to be shown. You can imply something and not have to show it.
All of it. Not have to show all of it.
Yeah, like you can show the lead up to it, but like, we did not need those gratuitous sex scenes. They serve no purpose narratively other than to disturb people.
Yeah, so I'm really curious how much they're going to listen to all of that with House of the Dragon. Now, a lot of people who are die-hard Game of Thrones books followers, podcasters, vloggers are excited about a lot of the stuff that they've seen and the stuff that they've looked into. Mm-hmm. My bottom line is there was a lot that was great about Game of Thrones. I think they had some of the best performances that we've seen on a television screen from many, many actors that were in it. I think there were spectacularly written character arcs until the last like 2 seasons. There you go.
Yep.
Could
have been worse. The zombies could have been LARPing Twilight 2000. Jesus.
It's just like a jumble of words that should never be put together.
I think we can now make clips on YouTube. Can someone clip that?
We can now make what?
I think that's a thing now.
What? We can now do what?
Clipping sections.
Oh.
Of live streams.
Oh. Maybe.
Let me see.
Maybe.
I know I saw it on Markipliers. It could just be sponsored streamers, though.
I am that person who feels like Game of Thrones, if they had listened to HBO, if you know, it was just a fiasco the last 2 seasons, and there you go. I'm over it, I swear. But
are you really? Because I don't think you are.
Peter Dinklage told me to get over it, so I'm supposed to get over it. To get over it. I'm over it. It doesn't mean my opinions change.
Important distinction there.
Important distinction. I still have the same opinion. So I would like it to, as a fantasy fan, I would like to see it work, because every time a show like this does work and every time it is successful, you have the potential of getting, like, if Game of Thrones wasn't successful, we wouldn't have The Witcher.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Even if you don't like that show, Gesundheit. Jesus.
I heard that one.
Yeah. You okay? Okay. He's gonna like knock himself out.
Did his soul just exit his body with how loud that was?
I need a cigarette. Yeah, that's like, I'm excited for the cast. You have some surprising casting. You have some gorgeous, gorgeous costumes, gorgeous looking characters, amazingly, dear God, impregnate me now, families just being displayed here. And I'm like, okay, all of you, I will take all of you. So yeah, this is very different in that you are dealing with certain things that were touched on in the book series, but there's a lot that they have to expand on that we would never have gotten in the books. So very different, very different stuff. So I'm gonna yeah, so I'm excited. There's the next fantasy one that I'm hoping for, but we'll see.
We'll find out.
There's exciting things coming out, exciting stuff. And then of course, also on HBO, you have the Peacemaker series, which interesting. I am a John Cena fan. I think he works incredibly hard. I think he's beautifully cast in this, and I am excited for what it means for other live action shows that they could do inside that universe. because I am having fun with this iteration of the Suicide Squad and certain characters.
Yes.
Yep. Yes. I don't know where the rabbit is. There he is. He's right there.
Is the dishwasher clean?
That is who I thought it was. So House of the Dragon has Matt Smith playing one of the Prince's
Targaryen.
Daemon.
Appears to be one of the Targaryens. He is. They confirmed that. Once the picture came out and I said, blonde Targaryen. Yes, he is. So yes, he's playing one of the princes. You can see the cast list and the names of any of those, but it is. I have looked at like everything that I've watched and stuff that HBO put out, which is kind of like this, the animated, the kind of lightly animated, low, almost lo-fi style stuff that they put out to tell the story so that we would understand where this was kicking off. It's a lot. There's a lot to watch. It's like 45 minutes here. It's an hour and a half. And that's just for people to kind of understand the histories as we're leading up to the Dance of Dragons, which is also a book that was written. So yeah, this is the Dance of Dragons storyline. It takes place before what we saw in Game of Thrones, the HBO series. So it's a lot. It's a lot of speculation, and obviously going to be very, very different. Just like anything else that's coming out, there's this, you have to make a trailer and you have to make a show that's appealing to people who know the books and would even recognize certain things that they see in the trailer that would mean absolutely nothing to everybody else, but you still want everybody else to see something that they like.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious who they're going to market this to, but honestly, you're talking about 75% of the people talking about it are people who are already familiar with these characters, who are already familiar with the lore. And there you go.
Alrighty. Well, we are past time.
Yeah, it's time. Because Lyssa, what else you got coming up tonight?
So we're actually starting at 9 tonight, but I do want to just chill for a bit between streams, which never happens on Thursdays. So 9 p.m. on my Twitch channel. Let me grab the link. Boop, boop. We are playing Rupture RPG with my Chaos crew. Love them very dearly. Oh, hi, Love Bun.
That's all he wants is just to be where people are, just like a cat.
But yeah, that's 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be playing Rupture RPG on my channel. Tomorrow's Friday, so hopefully we are playing Stormcrest tomorrow night.
Yay, that would be great.
I hope.
That'd be great.
Last time we tried, Rick's computer decided to take a crap.
Damn.
So like literally an hour before stream, like I'd already been like, yes, we're playing D&D. I am dressed up as a reindeer now for D&D. For nothing.
Yeah.
So I ended up playing The Witcher dressed as a reindeer. Thank you very much. But
it's a good story to tell all your grandkids.
It's like, guess who got dressed up as a reindeer for a Christmas one shot? That didn't happen. I'm bitches. Hi. That's me.
So fingers crossed for this time. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes and legs.
If we do end up playing Stormcrest, it's at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/thestormcrest. Find out.
Yes.
Or no, it's 7 p.m. Excuse me. 8 p.m. is Bros and Dragons on Mondays. 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
Here's the good news. If you look up at Geek Girl Lyssa, it's always Lyssa. It's hers. It's everywhere. Easy to find. So even if the schedule changes, you can always find out what's happening that day.
And my link tree that's down in the description of the live, you can literally find every freaking project I do work with.
Yay.
Along with my codes, because I am partnered with Viking Strength Nutrition and Juju Energy. So you can get 15% off your order on Viking Strength and 10% off on Juju.
Yeah, Juju. Juju is my next order because that stuff looks good.
It is so good. Do you know how amazing it is to make like an extra caffeinated like pumpkin spice latte? You put in your iced coffee, your ice, some Juju, the pumpkin spice in there, and then your milk, shake it up. And I am just like the happiest little bean because I'm like, I got my basic bitch on and I got my super caffeine on.
Yes.
Because like I'm that person that would order a pumpkin spice latte and get like 3 extra shots of espresso.
Yes. Yeah. No, I've done that. Yeah, absolutely.
I do have a TV guide, Matthew. Where's this on today? Well, also, I have a Discord. If you guys are not in there.
Is that also under a Geek Girl Lyssa or Geek Lyssa?
No, Discord, you have to have a specific link for it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the wrong one. I need to go in by admin so I can just copy the URL. Because if I do that through Discord, it will change the permanent link in my link tree and I will have to fix it. So come on, there we go. There's the highlight button. Good computer. There you go.
Ta-da! Yay.
It is an 18+ server. By the way, guys, I don't think any of you are underage here, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Discord is different. Yeah. And that's okay.
But yes. Crysstal, where can they find you?
The easiest places to find me would be my Facebook, and that's just Crysstal Hubbard. Don't forget there's 2 S's in Crysstal. And I am at Heart of Crysstal on Instagram, as in like Heart of Glass, except it's Heart of Crysstal. So there you go. And that's where you can find my cosplays. And that's where I'll be probably doing a lot more of my updates and live videos. I believe our next convention is in April. And we got some media stuff coming up for that one. So a couple months to prepare.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. We love you. We
love
will
you.
see you next time.
Thank you for joining
us.
Have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Bye.